Yung Wednesday, September 21, paspas lang ng adlaw. Padayon kita din sa atong discussion sa Colossians, sa sugdan na nato ni. O Sunday, we started this one and we talked about the background of it, the introduction. O kining Colossae is one of the cities under the Greek Empire, but it belongs right now to the modern day Turkey. Turkey ang ngalan nila na country. And it is situated in Anatolia, so murag southeastern part of Turkey. And these cities are true, and this city was very it was a trading city sa unang panahon. And then even today I was surprised when reading the news that the Turkish president was talking about a territory of the Greeks that the United Nations and the whole world should recognize. And it's just intriguing because sa una, the Greeks were the most powerful one, the most powerful over the Turkish nation, okay, Turkish people. But now it's different. It's the Turkish nation who is more powerful than Greek. Greek, they went to bankruptcy and everything. So nabali ang panahon, the tides have turned. But anyway, the Turkish president wants to recognize one of the territories that are in Griego na, okay, wants to recognize it and part of the Turkish state. And it's just interesting because they were already one before. Sa una, isa ra na sila because kadako sa Greek Empire. So mao nang kining modern day city of Colossae is found actually in Turkey. Now, they have a lot of Greek influence, especially sa ilang mga gods. Usagali gi-address ni Apostol Pablo nila hinay kay naisgutan na tula Sunday nga ang mga Greek gods labi na sa ilang mythology, and they base their life basically on the Greek mythology. Daghan silang mga Diyos, dan silang mga Diyos. O dili indirect kay siya o compartmentalize kada murag aspeto na ay Dios. Si Zeus, God of the sky, lightning, thunder. Si Aphrodite, napod siya lahi na aspeto. Bisan ng uban, Poseidon, nagkutong unsa pa, nagali gods para sa mga slaves or traders and thieves. So interesting kayo. So kada murag grupo sa tao, kada aspeto sa kinabuhi na ay mga Dios, so indirect kayo. And that's why Paul was addressing it here, that no, there is this direct God. There is this true God. There is this visible God that if we have seen Him, we have seen the Father, as what He said, and that's Jesus Christ. So, mao na din ang hisgutan ni Apostol Pablo sa mga taga-Colossae, which is part of Turkey, but they have really Greek influence sa ilaha. So, mao itong hisgutan last time, the very familiar verse of chapter 1, 15 to 20 of Colossians, which talks about Christ, His supremacy, ang iyang pagkalabaw sa tanan. Nga sa una naana siya before paghihimo ang kalibutan. It was made through Him and for Him. O para sa iya. Sa ikalipay gayon sa amahan. Ikalipay usab sa ni Jesus nga makita ang creation. Yesterday I was talking with one of my missionary friends. Naghisgot kami kabayan sa nature. O amazing gid kayo nga nature itself, God's creation itself, really was a gift to man. Gift gid siya sa tao. But then of course we were created in the image of God. It was also a gift for us. But of course we messed it up because of sin. But that's another story to tell. Pero amazing lang gid kayo that creation was created through Christ and for Christ. And because we are part of the image, we are created in the image of Christ, okay? It was also for us. It's a gift for us. But then, of course, because of sin, we mess it around. So, mao to ang ka-interesting because ingon din for God in all His fullness, Colossians chapter 1 verse 19, was pleased to live in Christ. And through Him, God reconciled everything to Himself. And we talked about this reconciliation. And di ba, when we want to reconcile, there are two parties. Ingon pa ni Ate Rose, it takes two to tango. Pero kining reconciliation, it doesn't matter if you want to be reconciled with God. He already worked it out that you would be reconciled to Him. Diba? Sa atong mga relationship tawhanon, if I have a conflict with somebody, I have to humble myself. That somebody that I'm in conflict has to humble himself, and we will get into reconciliation. And many times lisod na mahitabo. Pero sa Ginoo, kabalogin siya nga lisod ka na nakita mag-reconcile sa tong kagulingon sa iya. That's why He did the work for us. And that's why He reconciled all of us to Himself, and that is through Christ, through Kristo. So ana iyang gugma, grasya kaluoy para sa ato. He made peace with everything in heaven and on earth by means of Christ's blood on the cross. Okay, He made peace through Christ, through His blood. Okay? So yun din very personal dayon, this includes you. Because the Greek gods, they were not really so personal. And that's why Paul was trying to really make Christ very personal. And that is really the message of the gospel. He is a personal God. And that's why when we get to chapter 1, verse 27, it really gets to be personal. Ingon din for God wanted them to know the riches and glory of Christ are for you Gentiles too. Para po sa inyo mga Gentiles, because they were Greeks. Colossae was part of the Greek Empire in Turkey, to modern-day Turkey right now, Anatolia. And they were really not Jewish people. But Paul was encouraging them, it is also for you. He died for you. He reconciled you to you. Okay? Ingon niya din Christ lives in you. Very simple statement. Christ lives in you. So He is not a far-thought God. He is not somebody who is distant from us. Okay, He is not somebody who is not known and who does not want to be known. Okay, but He is a God who reconciled you to Himself, and now He lives in you. And it doesn't get more personal than that, di ba? Grabe na ka-personal. He lives in me. I'm a sinful person. I have a lot of failures. Okay? I needed rescue. I need rescue. That's why I need to believe in what Christ has done for me. And that's why Christ lives in me. And I have to believe that. Lisod ba na, no? Ang question remains, do you believe that? Would I believe that? And of course, there's nothing else we could do but to believe on it. And that's why, ingon din it makes sense, ingon ni Paul din sa verse 23, balik sa chapter 1. You must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it. Simply lagi kayo gipangayo. Okay, dili nga mga lagad kitag todo nga matutom, dili nga unsa pa na maghatag tagdaghan, maayo man na. Pero ingon din stand firmly in the gospel. Continue to believe it. He reconciled you to Himself, and now He lives in you. Christ lives in you. This gives you assurance of sharing His glory. And that is really our hope. Diba? Kaya kaniyang kalibutan, dagan mga pagsulay, dagan tagkatingalaan, but thankful ta sa Ginoo because we have a hope in Christ. Because Christ lives in us, in you and me, we can share of His glory one of these days. So we tell others about Christ, warning everyone and teaching everyone with all the wisdom God has given us. We want to present them to God perfect in their relationship to Christ. That's why when we're sharing the gospel to other people, we are presenting them as perfect to God. Umaingon din Okay, that's why I work and struggle so hard depending on Christ's mighty power that works within me. So sa kusog gihapon sa Ginoo. Now when He tells somebody about the gospel, is actually presenting this person because he has already been reconciled. God has reconciled Himself to him, to that person. And that person, Christ lives in that person, and that's why He is presenting that person perfect to God. Kuha po kayong perspective about evangelism, about discipleship. Nga sa una, ang atong nauna sa evangelism, atong paningkamot. But when we just tell people about the gospel, about Christ, it is finished, we are actually presenting them perfect dito sa Ginoo, tungod kang Kristo. So we'll talk more about that next time. So that's it for this Wednesday, and hope everybody is doing well.